Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for October 25th. October 25th is the 298th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 299th in leap years, with 67 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is scuttlebutt. A number of words have made their way from specialty fields into the popular lexicon, and today's word scuttlebutt is one such word. Scuttlebutt is a noun, and these days it's a term that's commonly used to mean rumor or gossip, as in, the scuttlebutt is that the company may be downsizing soon. And that's the way I've always heard it, as another term for gossip or unofficial or off-the-record information. Some examples from the web can be pretty funny. Somehow I've always had the impression that it was some sort of term we appropriated from sailors. Not sure how I knew that, but I was right about that, and I never gave it a thought as to what the word scuttlebutt might originally have meant, and might never have, except that a viewer asked me to look into it. The original meaning of scuttlebutt is a cask on shipboard meant to contain fresh water for a day's use. The original meaning has evolved to include a drinking fountain on a ship or at a naval or marine installation. So, how did it come to mean rumor or gossip? Well, you might think of that shipboard source of fresh drinking water as the 1800s version of today's office water cooler. Surely you're aware of the notion of office workers standing around the water cooler, catching up on the latest. What if the office workers didn't invent that practice, but are simply continuing a tradition that has been practiced for ages, even on wooden sailing ships from way back in the way back? But such a name, scuttlebutt, how did it come to be called that? Scuttlebutt is a combination of a couple of words, scuttle, which is a verb that meant to cut a hole through, and the noun butt, which meant cask. Cut a hole through the cask of fresh water so that we may have fresh water to drink, scuttlebutt. Eventually, the days of casks of water passed into the days of drinking fountains. The drinking fountains at naval installations inherited the name scuttlebutt, as did the gossip and rumors people share around those water fountains. First known use of the word scuttlebutt is around 1805. Scuttlebutt. The word scuttlebutt was suggested by YouTube viewer Joseph Horniak at Joseph Horniak 4908 as a word from his maritime days. Thank you, Joseph. And if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day section, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, King George III ascended to the throne, becoming King of Great Britain and Ireland on October 25th, 1760, upon the death of his grandfather, King George II. King George III was the king in charge when American colonists decided they'd had absolutely enough of being under England's thumb, revolted, and successfully achieved independence as the United States of America. King George III lived to the age of 71 and reigned as king for 59 years and 96 days, making him the longest-lived and longest-reigning British monarch up to that time. And while Queen Elizabeth II reigned over 70 years, King George III remains the longest-lived and longest-reigning male monarch. The Toronto Stock Exchange was created on October 25, 1861. Ticker TSX, it's located in Toronto, of course, and it's the 11th largest exchange in the world and the 3rd largest in North America, based on market capitalization. October 25th has been an interesting day for birthdays of all kinds of people, and I mentioned some of them in previous episodes, along with a few other things. I'll leave a link in case you'd like to check that out. Songwriter Billy Steinberg wrote a song about his mother. His writing partner Tom Kelly made some changes, and they offered it around. Cyndi Lauper picked it up and rearranged it, and True Colors was released in the summer of 1986 as the first single and title track of Cyndi Lauper's second album. It would become a major hit for her. True Colors hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on October 25th, 1986, where it held for 2 weeks. True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. Okay. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that... I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Alrighty. You got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. It's 8 o'clock. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.